Hey everyone, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Martine's Musings podcast. I'm your host, Martine Felton. And before I bring my guest on here tonight, I wanted to remind everyone that my book is still on sale on my website. It's also on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. It's titled You Love, You Learn. And if you haven't already, go and get yourself a copy. So you can get it on my website as well, martinefelton.com, along with some sweatshirts and t-shirts that I have on there as well. So my guest today is a beautiful soul, beautiful queen, Cher Charon. And let me bring her on here. She is a transformational coach, a neo-shamanic energy healer, and all-around beautiful person. Hi, Cher.
Hi, Martine.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
Good. So first, let's talk about how we met and how I came upon, because I was posting about getting guests on my podcast in these podcast collaboration groups, and I saw your post or did you answer my post? I don't know which one it was. But anyway, when I read your post and I was like, I don't know. It's like my soul spoke to your soul. And I was like, oh, I have to have her on my show because like I could tell her vibe is, connecting. So we connected. And then the other day you wrote a post on Instagram where I guess you were telling a bit of your story, and it gave me, again, head to toe chills. And I was like, oh my God, I just got chills from your post. So that was just like double confirmation for me that, we needed to speak, because I literally got a physical reaction from your words. So that's how, you kind of really, and if that happened for me, imagine other people, you know what I mean, that read your post and how they felt.
Thank you so much.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. As a transformation coach and a shamanic energy healer, what do you do?
Yeah, so with transformational coaching, it's not like other coaching that, you hear of. It's somewhat similar to, I guess you could say, Tony Robbins style. But even then, it's very different. I really go deep with my clients, and it's not me telling them you should do this or you should do that and necessarily giving advice. It's more asking questions around who they are and questions that really spark insights and allow them to have the breakthroughs, because all in all, it's the client who knows the answer. It's their life, it's their experience. So it's like, even as much as when you have a friend and you're like, girl, like, I'm telling you, don't date him. He's not the guy for you. The friend's like, no, he's different. And then 3 weeks later, she's like, girl, why didn't you tell me not to date him? And it's like, what? I did tell you. It's when people tell us to do things, many times we're not going to listen, and we'll probably do the opposite.
Yes.
So, I allow my clients to dig deep into their own answers, because they know the right choice to make and what's true to them. And then with my coaching, I also do the Neo-Shamanic healing, which is energy healing. And I integrate the Neo-Shamanic healing into my coaching because many people don't know this, but your chakras, which are our energy systems, are created from the ages of 0 to 7 years old, just like the subconscious mind. So when we suffer with trauma, when we have, pain and suffering as a child, or just certain programmings and conditionings being done, this affects our chakra systems. So as much work as we do on the subconscious mind, neurologically, like NLP techniques. We can do all of these things, but until we reach the energetic source and our energetic imprints, we're going to continue to create the same reality. So this is why I truly believe energy healing is so powerful. So I also implement that in with all of my clients so they are able to create their desired reality and do it with ease and grace.
Because like I was telling you before, I had two energy healing sessions with a shamanic energy healer, and it was different than Reiki, because I've seen Reiki demonstrated before, and it was really different. She told me that she learned from a shaman in like Peru or something like that, or somewhere in South America. And then she had used she asked me if I minded if she did a little acupuncture, and then she asked me to do the cupping, and I was like, no. I was like, no, we're not doing that, right? Because all I could remember from cupping is Gwyneth Paltrow's back. That time when every time somebody says cupping, I think about that time where Gwyneth Paltrow did cupping, but then it leaves that marks on your back for a couple of weeks, right? It goes away eventually, but I was like, nope, we're not doing that. The acupuncture is fine. But it was a really great experience. At the end of the day, like when I walked out of there, I was like, woo, I felt like new money.
Yes. And that's, I've had, I think, 1 or 2 Reiki sessions done back in the day, in like 2011, I want to say. And we have other, in the certification I had done, we had people who were Reiki certified, but it's really a different experience with the shamanism aspect.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So
how did you share some of your story? How did you go from, transition into coaching and being, an energy healer?
My life before 3 years ago was chaos. I grew up in a very abusive home with a very abusive mother, and that just led me to not having my own self-identity. Just a lot of self-esteem issues. I didn't know how to set boundaries. And it led me down a path of self-sabotage. I had also suffered and endured sexual abuse, rape. I lost my virginity. I had to have an abortion at 16 from being gang raped. So that affected me a lot. And not having anybody to share that experience with, because my home life was toxic and abusive and dysfunctional. It was always chaos. So that just led me down years and years, 10 years of drug addiction, cocaine, alcohol abuse, really just losing myself, I had no self-identity. So I didn't know who I was. I was just trying to numb the pain and numb the emptiness that I felt. And so I had actually been diagnosed with fibromyalgia at 18 years old. And back then, when I was diagnosed, it was even more rare for somebody the age of 18 to have it.
I was just thinking that. I was like, wow, fibromyalgia at 18. That's because usually you get, it's older.
Back then it was like they didn't see it in women until 40s, 50s. Yeah, even the doctor, when she diagnosed me, she was almost irritated and frustrated, which didn't help my situation. And she was like mad at me because when they did the test, this is a test that you can't fake. So, I had lost myself. I was suicidally depressed, had chronic anxiety, night terrors every night. I suffered with chronic PTSD. I didn't really have much hope for my life. And 10 years of that, and never having any support or anybody in my life that genuinely cared. No friends. You know, I would tend to attract narcissists and abusive people because I was in that victim, not even so much mentality, but again, as I was saying, the energetics of what is created and imprinted within you, that is the frequency I was giving off.
Yep.
And as I said, I didn't know how to set boundaries. So when you don't know how to set boundaries and you're not firm in who you are, perpetrators see this as, ooh, this is an easy target. So yeah, at 27, I was very suicidal, and there wasn't going to be a way for me to leave. And thank God, because I would have had to, you know, work through that karma in my next life.
Right.
So I ended up, you know, it was my dark night of the soul that I went through. Right. And while going through the dark night of the soul, that's when I really got into spirituality more than ever in my life. And I was still battling the drug addiction though, and suicidal depression, obviously. And I was led to plant medicine, dimethyltryptamine.
Yeah. I was just about to ask you that. Go ahead.
Yes, yeah. That's the same root that they use in ayahuasca, but it's extracted in a different way. So you don't drink it, and it's not a 10-hour experience. It's you smoke it, and it's a 10 to 15 minute maximum psychedelic experience.
Okay.
So I had extracted that and got into my little chemist, and after I had extracted it, had my journey with it, and in just one night of using it, one dosage really, and breaking through on it though.
Right.
I had such a healing experience while under it, where my angels and God, my higher self, were literally taking the trauma, the pain, the suffering, everything, all the memories. I was literally having like a video reel of like the memories going back in time, and they were removing all of it from me. And then at the end, just filled me up with so much unconditional love that I had never felt in my entire life. And
did you cry? Do you remember if you cried?
Yes. I remember it. Girl, I remember that experience like it was yesterday. I'm getting emotional now a little bit. I get emotional almost every time I speak about it. It was a miracle. Like, it was a second chance at life. And before I had done it and went in my room, turned on shamanic drumming music.
Yes. I
did do it. Yes. I prayed one last time, and I just told God, you know, my higher self, my angels, I said, if you heal me, if you save me from this, I promise I will make it my mission, and I will help others who have suffered as I have. And so after, when I woke up the next morning, I mean, I was jumping up and down in my living room. Another memory I will never forget. I had woken up, and it was like I was in a new body. Like, I legit was like, are you serious right now? And the pain was gone. The fibromyalgia that I had lived with for 10 years was just gone. Like, my body was no longer achy and like the Tin Man. Yeah. No, it was being in a whole new body. I had no thoughts. So if you've heard of Samadhi State, I was in Samadhi State for about 7 months. So no thoughts, absolute peace and serenity, and just still feeling that unconditional love.
What is Samadhi State for those who are watching that don't know?
Yeah. So Samadhi State is where it's an enlightenment state that many Buddhists, gurus, people usually in those other places, like not in Western society, experience Samadhi State just through meditation. It's almost like that enlightenment, godly state where you can literally feel on a cellular level that you are one with everything. It is where you feel so much pure, unconditional, divine love that it doesn't matter who you come in contact with. It doesn't matter if negative vibes, nothing. First of all, you have no thoughts. Like it is crazy. And then you're just
around with no thoughts.
Girl, let me now that
would be cool. Because my thoughts are there's too many thoughts up here.
Trust me. Oh, I know. That's what I used to have, racing thoughts like crazy.
Yeah.
And it was otherworldly. It was an absolute blessing and gift from God. Yeah, that's what Samadhi is, that feeling of unconditional love. You have no thoughts. It's pure enlightenment.
So getting back to DMT, right? Because I was looking up breathwork and how to kind of activate the natural DMT that we have. And I realized that the breath work that I do normally in my meditation was kind of like the way, because I was wondering why I was always feeling a little lightheaded when I was doing like breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth. And, if you do it fast and you do it like at a constant rate, then you'll feel a little like you're high.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's what that is. That's the natural DMT kicking in and making me feel high.
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead.
No. So I actually, there's this guy, I believe his name is Lucas Mack. He's on Instagram. He literally teaches breathwork like you're talking about. And it's like you're naturally creating that DMT to flow through. And same thing, people will literally have visuals. They will feel that unconditional love. It'll be like this high state. And it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So so that breath work, that breathing in through my nose, like filling my belly and then exhaling it out through my mouth, and doing that like fast. Well, I still can't do it really, really fast, but as fast as I can do it, getting that natural high and getting into that state. I don't know what the name is, but it feels really good. So when you smoke the DMT, and you said it lasts for 15 minutes. And it's different from ayahuasca, because I know ayahuasca is like maybe like a half a day, 18 hours or something like that, right? How in that 15 minutes or 20 minutes or so, what is happening? Are you sitting down? Are you laying down? Like, what are you seeing?
Yeah. So although they're from the same root, DMT, because of how it's extracted, it's the most potent psychedelic on the planet.
Right.
And so when you smoke it, you have to be like prepped up, like you're, lying down, but you're prepped up, because when you smoke it, you're essentially going to look like you're sleeping. Now, depending, I've done microdosing as well. So you can do a very small amount, but you're not going to be able to move. You're not going to walk. You're not going to do anything. It's like your body's there, but you go to another dimension. So, for me, I've literally, like the first time I broke through, I saw my light body jump out of my body, run out of the room, run back in. And then I was up from the ceiling looking down at my body. Yeah. But then, because how DMT works, it's like you feel like you're in there for days, yet so fast. It's wild, but you're hopping dimensions. So you may be seeing yourself at first, but then I've gone back in time just off a microdose. I've literally traveled back in time, and you're seeing beautiful colors. Absolutely, like nothing like even psilocybin and mushrooms. It's that times 100. Wow. And some people have experienced the same type of healing or similar healings as I have with psilocybin. So you can almost reach that state depending also on the strain of the psilocybin. But DMT is just a very NN-DMT, not Bufo DMT. I will say that as well. For anybody who's curious and listening, there is a massive difference. So NN-DMT, which isn't from the frog, that's the experience that healed me, saved my life, and yeah, it's just visuals, beautiful visuals. You also may see, like, another time I had done it, I saw aliens, and they were making the funniest jokes that I had ever heard in my entire life. Like, I literally was cracking up. I can't even remember what they said, like, because many times when you come back, you might be able to remember like a few things, and that's it, depending on the experience, really.
Wow, that sounds amazing. That sounds what like amazing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I was, when at the beginning of my journey, I have to, be honest, I was thinking about doing ayahuasca. And, I'm not totally against it, or I just feel like it's not my time. It hasn't been presented to me. Plant medicine, it hasn't come on my path yet. So maybe I don't need it, or, you know what I mean? It's just not the time. So I kind of like to do things when they are presented to me. I don't want to go chase it.
I respect that so much.
Yeah.
You know, they always say that DMT will find you when you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I feel like too. When everything
Yes,
will find you when you're ready, it's just,
yes,
you got to be ready. So
truly.
talk to me a little bit about like the shadow work, because I know in order to really get to a place where you are right now, where you're coaching others and you're helping women empower themselves, there has to be you know along with the DMT and stuff, the plant medicine, there had to be some sort of shadow work that you did, or work on inner work that you did on yourself to get to where you are, right?
Big time. And I'm so glad you bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
Many people think, oh, I can take a shortcut. I can use
Yeah.
plant medicine. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's great. And it will catapult you
Mm-hmm.
and really allow you to be free from the trauma, especially trauma, or chronic illness,
Mm-hmm.
OCD, things like that. But after, that's when the real work comes in.
Right.
And that's when you have to really allow yourself to sit with yourself and take a half hour or more, and you don't have to set a day, but there were times where I was like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to do the inner work, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sit with myself. I'm going to put on some music. I'm going to start journaling and letting up whatever comes up, emotions,
Mm-hmm.
triggers from my past. It was also a lot of self-awareness.
Yeah.
And especially when I began my journey, and I've been on this personal development, transformational healing journey now for 3 years. In the beginning, after I healed myself with the DMT, it was a hard, look in the mirror to say, oh, snap, like, I do have certain things of how I treat people that I need to stop. Like, this isn't right. And I can't treat people that way. Or, there were certain things I had to look at within and not only become self-aware, but then self-accept, a very, big journey of self-acceptance and accepting yourself, and then saying, okay, I'm aware of this. I see this.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to transmute it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Now I'm going to, transform myself
Yeah.
into myself.
And also with that, I know for me, I had to, when you like sit with yourself and look at the thing, I was like always looking at the things that I did in my past and feeling bad, and still carrying those things, feeling guilty, feeling bad for things that I did 20 years ago, that, you have to, let those things go, or you're not going to move forward. You'll move forward, but not as you're supposed to, you know what I mean? Like, not as not as great as you can.
Yeah, 100%. Like that shame that we hold on to, the guilt.
Yes.
That's what triggers that self-sabotage.
Yes.
So until you heal that, if you try to just, okay, I'm aware of it, but I'm just gonna pretend that I've healed it or put it behind me.
Yes.
It's like you're gonna subconsciously, without even knowing it, end up sabotaging yourself once again. So
That's that
yeah,
spiritual bypassing.
exactly. Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, I did this, so I healed this. And so, and all, I call it, another name I have for it is toxic positivity. It's like, people try to be so positive and positive all the time. And you realistically, you can't. You have your dark moments and that's part of the journey. That's part of the learning. So you can't be positive all the time. And a lot of people try that, that fake positivity and try to bypass their healing. And it's not going to work.
It's not. Nope. Like you said, it's part of the journey. Life is always an ebb and a flow. If you try to always stay in this high state of, no, everything's great, I can guarantee your come down is going to be harder than, yeah, you're going to crash. It's like when you have those things come up, those emotions or memories resurface, take 5 minutes and just sit with yourself. Be there for yourself. Put your hands on your heart. Tell yourself, like, I love you. I'm here for you. I support you. I see you. I understand you. You did what you had to do to survive. And I thank you for that, because now I'm alive. Now I'm here on this journey. I've gotten to this place and I couldn't have done it without you. And it's showing that inner child, that love that it's been, seeking for all these years, that acceptance.
When did you realize that there was more to our existence than just what we saw around us? Where were you at that point in your trauma where you had like the awareness of your higher self and of spirit, basically?
Yeah, so I mean, I've always been that way. And like in high school, people my friends would make fun of me. And, like I wasn't super into it because I wasn't even in that environment, but I would just say certain things. And I would always be skeptical and always have I was always a deep thinker and a trust seeker as well. Like, no. I never trusted politics. There were always certain things.
Yeah.
But then when I had moved to Denver, Colorado, before I moved to LA, that's where it really began. I was looking back at pictures probably like a month ago, and I had seen that I was meditating with my crystals and buying pendants, and I was like, oh my God, I don't even remember that. So that's where it started. And then it was in the dark night of the soul that I was just connecting to my angels more, connecting to my guides more. And even if I couldn't hear them and receive messages, I knew they were there.
Yeah.
And I knew there was something more to this matrix. And, that I had to go deeper. And then, so that was probably a few months before I had extracted the DMT.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was before the DMT. Yeah. I remember when I first had a confirmation for myself of my guides the first time. And it was in a meditation, and balls of light were like in my face. And then I felt like all this warmth in my heart right here. And I literally felt like someone was giving me a hug. Like it was like a grandma's hug or something. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh my God, they're here.
I love that.
It was amazing. Yeah. So that could be that. And that was a real turning point for me. I was like, I can't go back from this. Like, I love this feeling of, knowing that I have a team that I
Yes.
can't even see sometimes, you know, but I know they're there.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah, I connect to that feeling all the time now. I'm just, when you know you have that support always,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
it's just life changing.
So, what are some of the things, because I'm really into self love and self care, what are some of the things that you do to care for yourself? What do you have any self care practices you'd like to share?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I don't know if you can see, oh, you can't see, but I have my drum behind me. So I
Oh,
love to drum.
mhm.
It's a big, I think it's like 28 inches, 18 inches, I don't know. Between that, it's the big drum for the root chakra.
Oh, okay.
So I love to like drum. It really grounds me. It connects
Mhm.
me to my ancestors, to my
Mhm.
divine feminine,
Mhm.
especially.
Mhm.
So I like to just drum, connect with myself, move my body, dance, especially when I'm just feeling stressed out and
Right.
like I'm going too hard. I'm in my sacred masculine too much, and I
Yeah.
need to just slow down and
Yeah.
get back into that divine feminine.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And what are you doing? Like, tell us about your practice and your coaching, and if anybody, you know, wants to contact you for, you know, coaching sessions or energy healing sessions, how can they contact you?
Yeah, so they can either reach out to me through one of my social media platforms,
Mhm.
right through direct message, or so Instagram or Facebook, or they can go to my website, make it nice and easy,
Mhm.
sharecharon.com.
Mhm.
And I have, uh, I have my schedule on there. I believe I have my schedule on there. Yeah, for the coaching, for
Right.
the healing, if they want to receive a healing, I have my email on there, so they can just email me with the words energy,
Mhm.
and I'll send them the form to fill out, so we can have all that information before we get started.
Right.
And yeah, with the coaching as well, we'll get on a call. For me, I specifically like to get to know the person,
Yeah.
get to know what their goals are, what's holding them back.
Mhm. Me
Um,
too.
and then I like to coach them and
Mhm.
serve them first. And then if they, felt like they had a nice session with me, and if we're a match to work together, we both resonate with each other's energy, then
Yeah.
we move forward from there.
Yes. That's how I like to do it too. That's why I like to you know, have those complimentary clarity calls, because you got to know if you can, you know, if you're going to vibe with that person, or even if coaching is right for them. You know, some people need just, you know, we're not psychologists, and sometimes some people will need that. And
Yeah, yeah. So and
I
you
think
know
you need
what?
something more.
And I'll be honest, a lot of people aren't ready to do the work. They
Yeah,
want it, but they're not ready to
right.
take the action. And it's a little scary, especially
Mhm.
when you're about to invest. Then you're committed and you're holding yourself accountable by investing that money.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't so ready. So I like to make sure they're ready to do the work.
Yep. Because
Yeah.
it's an investment in themselves, actually.
Yeah. 100%. It's an
And
investment in their future.
yeah, I can't express that enough. Like, people, you know, it is coaching, getting a coach or getting any even type of healing. It's really an investment in yourself, because it's just, you know, putting you in a position of that next level, you know, that better of yourself, you know?
100%. It's the best investment you could ever make. I mean, after all, you're going to be with yourself for the rest of your life. So
Exactly.
you better get to loving yourself and heal what you got to heal and transform into your highest self so you can live your best life.
Exactly. And on that note, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. And thank you, Cher, for sharing your story, sharing your wisdom, sharing your gifts with me and my viewers. And everyone else, thank you for joining the Martine's Musings podcast. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Mhm.